My line? You're thinking I'm gonna say all of that in English? Subscribe, buy Amazon.
We'll edit that
Continue.
out.
Don't edit it out. We are the cast of Being the Ricardos, and we are here to answer some tough questions. Are you ready?
No. We're ready. Okay, let's
Roll
see.
the die.
First one. Why am I so sexy?
Oh.
Hold on. Desi and Lucille were an incredible team. Tell us about their relationship and Hollywood legacy. Yeah, they were an incredible team. What can I say? They were icons. They are icons. I mean, they are so alive today. It's a big responsibility to play those icons, and I think the bottom line is about how much they loved each other, how much they really wanted to support each other in any way, shape, or form.
They were a fantastic team. They were a creative team. They were a romantic team. They were also sort of groundbreaking because they created Desilu Productions, which I think was the first production company owned by actors. Was
I
it?
think so.
Yeah, run by actors. I mean, that is extraordinary in itself.
Yeah, what a power couple they were. And when you're talking about the early 1950s, and you're talking about a woman and a Cuban immigrant, becoming the power couple in Hollywood. We all in this business, in the world, owe a lot to them and to the walls they broke down.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
What is the same? What is different about showbiz today? I give that question to the room.
Nothing's changed. Everything's the same. No, but I think in the case of our show, these are excellent. These are people that paved the way, so they had to go through the hardest part of everything that we're talking about. I think things are still a little similar, but not having that golden handcuffs of the studio system, I think things are quite different without that in place.
It's still a very, this is wah, 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 poor actors. But when you sign up for a television series now, still, you're signing a very one-sided contract, It is a daunting prospect to sign something and go, I might be doing this for the next 5, 6, 7 years. I hope it's good,
JK, you're fantastic.
So good.
You're actually going to go to the front of the class.
Yeah.
Well, we're just hanging around in my living room with my little
excellent.
table,
Okay. Tell us about the real-life characters that you embody and what you learned about them during the filming process. J.K. Simmons as William Frawley, would you like to comment?
I would like to comment on the similarities between William Frawley, and Fred Mertz. He was pretty much the same guy. Let's face it. It was not a real big stretch for Bill Frawley to play Fred Mertz, nor was it a gigantic stretch for me to play a crabby old white guy who's been in show business for a long time. I mean, it was a pretty good fit.
Oh, Nina, what do you think? Well, what do I think?
I'm sorry, we don't have time for.
Oh, okay. Well, JK said it. I think the most interesting thing was just how different these two women were. We kind of find Vivian's mourning who she used to be. She is mourning the fact that she won't be able to ever dip her toe back into who she really was, which was more than who Ethel was. She won't be able to get in touch with her sensuality or her sexuality or how she would move or what she would want to do. Javier Bardem as Desi Arnaz, what do you think?
Oh my God, let me think about what I think. Desi Arnaz was...
You can answer in Spanish.
Ok, Desi Arnaz era un grandísimo revolucionario dentro del mundo del entertainment, and for me it was a big pleasure to try to at least get close as I could into the world and the essence of this man. To just recreate that energy of his was a great pleasure. It was a beautiful thing to do. And I had the chance to sing, which is something that I've never done before, and I don't think I will ever do it again. Thank you for your support. Thank you.
Very nice. And is it Kidman or Kidman? Nicole Kidman as
Kidman, it's been Kidman all along. Thank you for finally correcting that.
Nicole Kidman as Lucille Ball, please, if you would.
There's so much to talk about with her, and I think the film, when I first read the screenplay, gave me an insight into her that I had no idea. I mean, the storytelling in this screenplay is extraordinary. And yeah, I had an image of the I Love Lucy show and Lucy herself and this sort of funny red-headed clown with big blue eyes. And then as you delve into her and her life and what it took to make that show and where she came from, it's incredible life. Now, my position is not going to change. There is only one television show that I'm willing to do. So, what's it going to be? What behind-the-scenes dynamics from the I Love Lucy series did you learn that the general public hadn't really heard about? Well, I mean, all of pretty much everything that was going on. I had no idea. There's a sense when you go, oh, a comedy show, there's some riffing and some improvising, and they'll get it. But when you're doing a show every week, I've come to realize it is sharp and has to be studied and has to be thought through. Nothing is by chance. You've got to get there. We need to work out the moves at the table.
Bill and I could work out the moves.
It's not that I'm not confident
This
that you can't
is
work out.
camera blocking. We can work out the stage business during tomorrow's run-through.
I would strongly prefer that we do it now.
I learned the way they were approaching to each other and the way they were, I mean, creating a team, and how him, as Desi, as a producer, have to hold the reins of so many things so the bomb won't explode. Because as you can see, there were many things going on, and he was trying to overcome everything with lots of humor, but also a lot of manpower.
This is a very entertaining look. That's why we're all sitting here
Yeah.
at the making of a show, but it then layers in lives and this moment in their lives. And it's riveting. I mean, to me, the story is really the strongest part of this film. Anyway, I'll pass it over.
No.
Oh, yeah, please. Talk to me.
Got it, caught it.
JK, please answer. You're very good at this. What behind-the-scenes dynamics from the I Love Lucy series did you learn that the general public hadn't really heard about? What did you learn?
But I
Tell us, but
specifically
tell
learned-
us. But tell us.
I'm telling you.
No,
Calm down. All of these interpersonal relationships that these four had, in addition to, you know, all the other characters in the film, I learned a lot about the relationships that, you know, that these guys became very good friends, you know. And this relationship was like, not so great. You know, starting day one at the first table read of the first episode of I Love Lucy, these two were at odds, and that's what the relationship was the entire time they worked together.
But you shot that scene, the scene that started the first day.
Yeah,
The first day of shooting was us bickering
Yeah.
with each other, yeah.
It really
And that's
was.
what surprised me the most also was just how deep their dislike was for one another. And I just heard something the other day, which I don't know how I didn't hear this when I was doing research, but upon learning of William Frawley's death, apparently Vivian said, "Champagne for everyone."
No.
Is that not
Wow.
Dude,
brutal?
I did hear that.
That's
That's
brutal.
cold.
That's
That is cold.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Wow, you never heard that.
Wow.
Champagne
Yeah.
for everyone.
Whereas
You know what?
Desi said, I want Lucy. I want her to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
At
His
his
death
deathbed.
bed.
Absolutely. One of the last conversations was with Lucy on the phone to tell her
I hope
how much.
that's true.
Yeah, it's
I believe it. And everything in the script, in terms of what Aaron said, is that yes, it didn't happen in a week, but it all happened. I mean, there's a phone call that he makes, not to give the film away. That is such a strategic, brilliant move. I couldn't believe it was true, and it's true.
Amazing.
And the telegram that gets sent that
yeah.
don't F with the Cuban.
Yeah, I was like, that's a great dramatic device.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
obviously there are plenty of, you know.
Yeah.
And Aaron took a year and a
Yeah.
half
Yeah.
to assemble this screenplay, but
Yeah.
so much of it is just like, oh, that actually happened, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah,
Yeah, really,
love it.
really, this Sorkin guy didn't do all that much writing.
Exactly.
I mean,
Actually-
Yes.
kind of overrated, maybe.
Cut and copy. I mean, come on. Write something,
Yeah.
for Christ's sake,
Yeah.
it's original.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my wife and the star of I Love Lucy, Lucille Ball.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to subscribe for more Ricardo's content and watch us on Amazon Prime Video.
Come on.
Oh my
Come
God.
on. That's what.
Here's the man.
That's our guy.
That's how you got it right.
That's how you
really,
do
You just
it.
need an insurance salesman.